The Roaring Twenties is one of the most invigorating and energetic periods of time in American history. This period was filled with self-indulgence where American economy and culture had evolved through technology. It can be described by the cultural civil war that took place caused by changes in immigration, race, prohibition, politics, and sexual morals. The nation's identity struggled with a battle between old America and the new America. The old America valued a time of hand labor, lack of entertainment and communication, and brutal slavery. The new America brought new transportation, amusement, economy advancements, and social morals. Musicians such as Louis Armstrong, inventors like Henry Ford, and anti-racial groups like the Ku Klux Klan are examples of this revolutionary change. World War I destroyed the hopes that Americans had for world peace and created a new generation characterized by rebellion and frenzy. The Ku Klux Klan, pop culture, and prohibition all express how greatly America had changed.
The Ku Klux Klan is one of the great examples of how America changed in the 1920s. This group was founded in Tennessee 1865, shortly after the end of the Civil War, as a social club for Confederate soldiers. Their influence quickly spread through the southern states, provoking more people to join. The new KKK was founded in 1915 and had some major differences in ideas and beliefs than the original Klan. The new KKK used brutal methods to attack various non-white groups, including Jews, Catholics, African Americans, and immigrants. The KKK was all about keeping old America's beliefs. This meant keeping traditions like no drinking, no partying, sex only to have babies, and less female rights. The minorities were pushing for the new American beliefs. This meant partying, new music, flappers, and clubs in large cities. The KKK was expanding greatly. By 1924, they reached 4 million members who now joined from the north. Claude McKay, a writer from the Harlem Renaissance, described the time period through a poem.
If we must die, let it not be like hogs, hunted and penned in an inglorious spot, while round us bark the mad and hungry dogs, making their mock at our accused lot. If you must die, oh, let us nobly die, so that our precious blood may not be shed in vain. Then, eventually the monsters we defy shall be constrained to honor us through dead. Oh, kinsmen, we must meet the common foe. Though far outnumbered, let us show this brave, and for the 10,000 blows deal one death blow. What though believe us lies in the open grave? Like men will face the murderous, cowardly pack, pressed to the wall, dying but fighting back.
With the KKK harassing and killing those groups they thought were unfit for the American life, a spark was set off. This spark caused the minorities to migrate north into the large cities. The Great Migration led to a new culture in the north filled with new music, literature, and dancing.
The Roaring Twenties brought about change in the way Americans view entertainment, from the evolution of music to the advancement of the motion picture. More and more ways of amusement started to rise. It's the early 1900s, and Americans have started to advance in technology. The resulting achievements made everyday chores much quicker and easier, such as cooking and cleaning. Since many of these chores became much quicker, Americans had much more time for leisure. This is where radio, movies, and music became incredibly big. Old America versus the new America. The traditional method of doing chores by hand was threatened by new technology like the washing machine. Within this era was the rise of jazz music. It all started from the Great Migration, where African Americans migrated from the south to the north. Many of them moved to a place called Harlem in New York. This became the birthplace of jazz and the start of an evolution. The Harlem Renaissance was the explosion of artistic expression, politics, and the self-worth of African Americans. All of this culture conflicted with the Ku Klux Klan and their ideals. One of the most important writers of the Renaissance was Langston Hughes. Some of his verses in his poem,
I am the darker brother. They send me to the kitchen to eat when company comes, but I laugh, I eat well, and I grow stronger.
As the darker half of America, Langston explains that they are always treated badly, but will grow strong to fight back one day. This was the mindset of many African Americans at that time, and Harlem provided a place for them to express their pain and their desire for equal rights.
Prohibition is one of the most infamous topics of the Roaring Twenties. The creation of this law banned the production, selling, and transportation of any beverages containing alcohol in 1920. Supporters of this law argued that alcohol was the source of wife-beating, driving accidents, and productivity problems at work. They believed prohibition would create a safer nation and end corruption. Automaker Henry Ford, a supporter of prohibition, explained, "From now on it will cost a man his job to have the odor of beer, wine, or liquor on his breath, or to have any of these intoxicants on his person or in his home. The 18th Amendment is part of the fundamental laws of this country. It was meant to be enforced. Politics has interfered with the enforcement of this law, but so far as our organization is concerned, it is going to be enforced to the letter." Others believe alcohol is a source of pleasure and expression of culture. Before the 18th Amendment had been passed, more than half the nation had already banned alcohol beverages. Despite the government's effort to change the use of alcohol, these laws proved impossible to be followed. Prohibition created many refusals throughout the U.S. For example, bootleggers sold and produced alcohol disregarding the law or authorization. They became heroes to citizens and provided them with what they wanted. Bootleggers got by using their wealth to bribe police. Adversaries of prohibition also created bars called speakeasies that illegally sold beer to the public. People could enter these bars to have a drink, listen to jazz, and dance. Prohibition did not stop people from making beer. Many created alcoholic beverages such as bathtub gin and moonshine in their own homes. This law ended in 1933. Prohibition expresses the battle of two American viewpoints, the old America and the new America.
The 1920s captured a battle between an old America versus a new America. The old America was more conservative and old-fashioned, while the new America was modern and wanted change. Prohibition, the KKK, and pop culture are three examples of the old versus the new. The old America supported prohibition, which banned alcohol from 1920 to 1933, while the new America fought for alcohol and contributed to bootleggers and speakeasies, which sold alcohol illegally. The KKK was another great example because they supported the beliefs of the old America, while supporters of the New Age wanted a more diverse country and fought for their freedom. Furthermore, pop culture is another example of this battle. The New America had many advances in technology such as the radio and automated machines. They also had a lot more entertainment such as movie theaters, jazz music, and flappers. The 1920s has both many flaws and great qualities, but is still one of the most influential decades ever.